Hi there, I'm Nikita and welcome to another video on my channel. I recently posted a video where I shared with you guys some of my expectations about life in Germany that I had before I came to Germany and how the reality was related to those expectations. Unexpectedly, I received a very warming and beautiful and amazing response from you guys, and some of you even wanted me to make a sequential video to that and wanted to know whether I had some other expectations and how did they turn out to be. Honestly, I had lots of expectations, and the ones that I posted in the past video were really a few of those. For this video, I decided to take out 5 other expectations, and I wanted to share with you how they turned out to be when I actually came to Germany. One of those expectations was, if you're going to study an English program, like English taught program in Germany, you do not need to know German at all. I would say this is half true, or it turned out to be half correct and half not. Why it turned out to be half true? Because I studied an English taught program here, and not even for one single module or lecture or exercise or exam I needed to know German language. Everything that I studied, from lectures to exercises and until the exams, everything entirely was in English language. So actually it is true that if you're going for an English taught program, you do not need German language. Why it turned out to be false is because I realized that you don't really need German proficiency to study, but you need German to understand the culture, to get integrated well into the culture, to understand the people, to gain confidence in your own self, because you can speak in a language which is foreign to you and you somehow feel comfortable, or the other people feel comfortable talking to you, even if you are talking not in the perfectly correct way. So even if you are coming for an English taught program where you think that everything is in English and I don't need any German proficiency, then probably you are right. But think from that perspective that going to a country where the language is not English, then you might at times, or I would say often, feel the odd one out if you're not speaking anything at all. The more you learn the language, the more you start feeling comfortable. So my expectation that I don't need German was kind of true, that for that particular program, for my master's, I did not need German at all. But parallel to my master, for parallel jobs or parallel integrating myself to other things or into other activities like extracurricular activities, into certain club or something, another expectation of mine was you have to have, or you must know, a certain level of German if you're applying for jobs or if you want a job. If you do not know any German, you will not get any job. That turned out to be false, because there are jobs which do not require you to speak German. And I'm not talking about some part-time jobs, student jobs, or side jobs that you do when you're a student. I'm talking about jobs that you actually do once you graduate. Yes, there are jobs in Germany that do not require you to know any German, but there is a trick. The trick is, the moment you say that you do not know German language and you just can do jobs in English language, your spectrum of jobs reduces from this to this. There are jobs that you can do only in English, like programming, but just imagine yourself, you are going to work, and in a group of 10 people where there are 10 programmers, 8 out of 10, or most of the times 9 out of 10, can speak German, and you can speak zero German. This does not really sound comfortable. It is also not very comfortable or a very nice feeling to go every day to work and do a job for 8 to 9 hours a day where you just cannot speak any German. So yes, you still can get jobs in Germany after graduation, even if you do not know any bit of German, but it is always preferred that you know a certain amount of German so that you can at least communicate with your colleagues. Not because the colleagues cannot communicate in English, but it's always better that you try to integrate yourself and you try to show that I'm open for learning and I'm open for challenges, which is learning German. one of the biggest challenges learning German. This one is really funny. Before I came to Germany, I thought that electronic gadgets like mobile phones, laptops, or smartphones, or like tablets are really relatively cheaper in Germany compared to India. And that is not the case. Why I thought that? Because a lot of my friends, known or kids from family members, are in America, and they always told me whenever they came to India to their parents, they always bought iPhones or iPads or some laptops from Apple, and they told, okay, here the prices are too expensive, and we have deals in America like Black Friday deals or some other like Christmas deals or like Halloween deals where we get gadgets really cheaper than in India. And for the first year of my life in Germany, I had to explain myself or tell myself that this is not true for Germany. Although there are deals like Black Friday on Amazon and also in German electronic markets like Saturn and MediaMarkt, but they are not bringing the gadget price to that level where you can say it is, in compared to Indian price, relatively cheap. It might be like if it is costing you in India roughly 700 euros, then in Germany it is costing you 680 or 675. It never happened to me, at least in the past 7 years or 8 years of my life in Germany, that I went to a shop and I asked my mother, what is the price in India of this gadget? And she said X, and for me the price was relatively cheaper. It never happened. So in Germany, the gadgets are almost the same price like in India, and they are not cheaper. Maybe if you're lucky, you might find a deal where they're doing a closing sale or some summer sale or somewhere where you can get a really good deal. But in general, they are not cheaper. They're almost the same price. So if you're a student and if you're thinking that you do not buy things in India and you want to buy things in Germany, then maybe you can give this thing another thought, and it's better that you buy all your gadgets like phone or laptops or iPads or whatever back in India. This is also very interesting. I made a very specific video on this topic where I shared with you Germans aren't cold people. Well, I am myself married to a German. We have a daughter now, and I know his family really well, and not only the first family, like the extended family. And I never, honestly, never had a feeling that they are cold people. What or how I would like to define Germans is that they are reserved, and they really don't open up right away. So they are definitely like North and South Pole. If North is India, then Germans are on the South Pole or at the South Pole, because they really take a lot of time to open up, and they first would see if they're like comfortable with you, and it takes a lot of time till they feel or till they get into their comfort zone, and then you will feel, okay, now this person is in the comfort zone. So you will realize it right away. In German, this characteristic or this nature can be defined as zurückhaltend. They don't really actively get into things, or especially get into like knowing people and right away say that, okay, hi, here I am and I would like to be your friend. Of course, there are exceptions. I know some Germans who are literally like extreme version of extroverts, but mostly I would say they are reserved people, and they really take time to open up, and once they're friends with you, they are really close to you. Like you say, wir sind so eng, like really this close to you. So they are really good friends. Indeed, they are good husbands, they are good mothers, they are good relatives, and they are beautiful people. They just take their own time. License is one thing that I thought back in India that, okay, I have a license in India and I can also like go and drive in Germany, or at least let's say make an international license, but that wasn't true. License making for me was much more intense, difficult, and I would say embarrassing, humiliating when I was in the car with the teacher than my entire master's. And I know this also from other friends of mine. When you get a license in Germany and when you get a master's degree in Germany, I think personally most of the people would say that the license making make them more happy than getting the master's degree, or this license making is a bigger achievement than getting a master's in Germany, because license is indeed so much intense. It is such a painstaking job that you really have to dive into those 1,000 questions, and that driving class or classes that you have to go through when your teacher is sitting right next to you, irrespective of whether it's a male or a female, or like a 23-year-old boy or a girl teaching you. Everything there in that car is intense. From starting changing gears, even if you know how to change gears, like changing gears at the right time, because teachers might even check you, at least mine did. She checked me even when I was going to neutral, from like third gear directly to neutral. When I saw a red light, she was like, why do you do that? Why do you have this kind of habit that already 50 meters ahead of the red light you go from third to neutral? You should drive, then go to second gear and first gear and then to neutral. I understand, it makes sense, but it's just not wrong if you would go from third gear directly to neutral and start braking. So making a license in Germany, I did not really expect it to be a huge deal. I really thought, okay, I have driven in India, I have a license in India, I can really just drive, take some lessons and get my license. But it was a huge deal for me, and finally when I got my license, I just loved it. By the way, if you guys would like to know more about how I made my license and what was my experience while making license, then let me know. I would love to share it with you guys. And this brings me to the end of this video, where I would like to tell you these were some of the other expectations from another huge list of expectations that I had about life in Germany and the realities related to them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. I always love to read your comments, and I read each and every comment. Some comments I even read more than once. There are certain comments that I've read like thrice or 4 times because I just love them, and the love that is in those comments, the respect, the feelings, the emotions you guys convey is really beautiful. Much love.